Stop scrolling. There's a moment in your life when attraction flips and nobody warns you. If you miss it, you chase forever. If you understand it, women start chasing you. Listen closely because what I'm about to tell you isn't about tricks, lines, or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about a single internal shift that changes how women feel around you before you even speak. Most men believe attraction is built by doing more, saying more, proving more. That belief is exactly why they're exhausted, confused, and invisible. Women don't respond to effort the way men think they do. They respond to emotional gravity, and gravity comes from one thing most men are terrified to practice. Here's the truth. Few people admit out loud women are not chasing confidence, they are chasing emotional certainty, the feeling that you are complete, grounded, and moving somewhere meaningful with or without their approval. When a man's emotional center is stable, when his mood doesn't rise and fall based on a woman's reactions, something ancient inside her wakes up. She feels safety and tension at the same time, and that combination is rare. Most men leak their desire. It shows in their eyes, their tone, their speed. They rush replies, over explain intentions, and offer reassurance before it's been earned. From a female psychological perspective, that reads as emotional dependency, not romance. Dependency creates pressure. Pressure kills desire. When you need a woman to validate you, she feels responsible for your emotional state, and attraction quietly shuts down. The one thing that flips the dynamic is learning to lead your own emotional experience, not controlling her, not manipulating outcomes, controlling yourself. When you stop trying to be chosen and start choosing your own standards, your energy changes. You speak slower, you listen without trying to impress, you walk away from disrespect without drama. That self direction is intoxicating because it signals abundance without bragging. Women chase what they can feel, but cannot fully access. When your happiness is not on the negotiation table, curiosity replaces certainty. She wonders where you're going, what drives you, and whether she fits into your world. That question alone creates pursuit. You're no longer auditioning, you're inviting. This isn't about being cold or distant. It's about being centered, warm, present, and unattached to outcome. A man like that feels rare in a world of emotional noise. He doesn't perform masculinity, he embodies it quietly. And when a woman senses that, her nervous system relaxes while her attraction intensifies. Understand this deeply. The moment you stop chasing validation is the moment attraction reverses. Not because you changed her, but because you finally stopped abandoning yourself. And when a man stands fully in himself, women don't in feel the need to run. They feel the urge to move closer, to be chosen, and to stay. This shift often feels uncomfortable at first because it removes the illusion of control. You are no longer trying to engineer attraction, you are allowing it to respond to who you already are. That requires discipline, discipline to sit with silence, discipline to let a message go unanswered until you actually want to respond, discipline to invest your energy into purpose, health, and growth instead of monitoring reactions. Women sense that discipline instantly. It communicates maturity without saying a word, and maturity is attractive because it promises consistency, leadership, and emotional depth in a chaotic world. This is where desire stops asking and starts pursuing. Once you understand emotional self leadership, the next truth cuts even deeper. And most men resist it because it attacks their habits. Women don't chase men who are always available, they chase men who are intentionally present. There's a massive psychological difference, and women feel it instantly. Availability without direction feels empty. Presence with purpose feels magnetic. Here's what female psychology picks up on before logic ever enters the room. When a man fills his life with meaning, his attention becomes valuable. When his attention is valuable, giving it feels like a gift, not a transaction. Most men flood women with attention, hoping it will buy affection. It never does. It only teaches her that your focus has no cost. and what has no cost has no pull. Intentional presence means you choose when and where you invest your energy. You don't disappear to create fear. You don't play games. You simply don't hand out emotional access to people who haven't earned it. From a woman's nervous system, this feels grounding. She doesn't feel hunted. She feels invited into something already alive. Think about this carefully. When you have a mission that excites you, your conversations shift. You're not talking to escape loneliness. You're sharing from fullness. That subtle difference changes everything. Your voice steadies, your body relaxes. You're not waiting for her reaction to decide how you feel next. That emotional independence creates space, and space is where desire breathes. Women are constantly reading emotional cues. Even when they say they're not, they notice how quickly you respond, how much you adjust yourself to fit them, how often you seek reassurance. None of this is conscious judgment. It's instinct. When she senses that your world shrinks around her, attraction fades. When she senses that your world is expanding and she's welcome to walk alongside you, curiosity ignites. This is why men who are busy with purpose often attract attention without trying. Not because busyness is attractive, but because direction is. Direction tells her you know where you're going. It suggests leadership without domination. Leadership in this sense means emotional steadiness. You don't overreact. You don't panic when things are unclear. You allow moments to unfold without forcing conclusions. Another uncomfortable truth is that women chase clarity, not promises. When your actions are consistent and your boundaries are calm, she feels safe leaning in. Safety doesn't mean boring, it means predictable character, not predictable behavior. She never doubts your self-respect. That certainty frees her to explore desire instead of guarding herself emotionally. Men often think they need to create excitement by being louder, funnier, or more impressive. In reality, excitement comes from contrast. Your calm against her emotion, your patience against urgency, your grounded presence against uncertainty. That contrast creates tension, and tension fuels attraction. When you stop trying to entertain and start allowing silence, women project meaning onto you. Silence, when paired with confidence, speaks louder than effort. This is the moment many men feel fear. If I don't chase, will I lose her? That fear is exactly what needs to dissolve. The man who trusts his own value doesn't cling. He allows connection to grow organically, and paradoxically, that freedom is what pulls her closer. She senses that being with you is a choice, not an obligation. When you live with intention, women don't feel pressured to decide immediately. They feel drawn to stay curious. And curiosity is the doorway to pursuit. Now, we move into the part most men never see because it happens beneath words, beneath logic, beneath conscious choice. Women don't chase men who want them. They chase men who are emotionally unmoved by wanting. That doesn't mean you don't feel desire. It means desire doesn't control your behavior. And from a female psychological perspective, that distinction is everything. Attraction grows when a woman feels free to move toward you at her own pace. The moment she senses you're pulling, leaning, or waiting for her to decide your worth, something inside her resists. Not because she's cruel, not because she's playing games, but because her nervous system is wired to move towards strength, not need. Need creates emotional gravity in the wrong direction. It pulls instead of invites. Here's the hidden dynamic. When a man wants a woman more than he wants his own direction, she feels like the destination instead of a companion. That's heavy. No woman wants to be someone's entire emotional future. But when she senses that you want her in addition to a full life, not instead of one, attraction deepens. She feels chosen, not used for fulfillment. This is why emotional restraint is so powerful, not suppression, restraint. You don't dump feelings early, you don't rush intimacy, you let curiosity build, you let moments breathe. Women are highly responsive to pacing. When you rush emotional closeness, it feels unsafe. When you allow it to unfold naturally, it feels earned. Earned intimacy is intoxicating. Most men confuse honesty with emotional overflow. They reveal too much too soon, thinking vulnerability will create connection. Vulnerability is powerful only when it's grounded in strength. Without that base, it feels like emotional outsourcing. Women don't want to carry your unprocessed emotions. They want to witness your depth after you've learned to stand in it. There's another subtle shift that happens when you master this. Your reactions soften. You stop interpreting every delay, every short reply, every mood change as a signal about your value. That emotional neutrality is magnetic. When a woman realizes she can't shake your center with inconsistency, she begins to regulate herself around you. She becomes more intentional, more present, more engaged. This is where chasing begins. Quietly, not through dramatic gestures, but through investment. She asks more questions, she initiates contact, she mirrors your energy, not because you demanded it, but because you created a space where she felt safe to step forward. Emotional safety combined with mystery creates desire that lasts. Understand this deeply. Mystery is not secrecy. Mystery is depth revealed over time. When your life, your thoughts, your ambitions unfold gradually, women stay curious. When everything is laid out immediately, the emotional story ends before it begins. Curiosity is the fuel of pursuit, and pursuit strengthens attachment. A man who is emotionally self-contained doesn't rush outcomes. He doesn't try to lock things down to feel secure. He allows uncertainty without panic. That tolerance for uncertainty signals confidence at a primal level. It tells her you trust yourself to handle whatever comes next. Trust in yourself makes it easier for her to trust you. This is also why boundaries matter so much. When you calmly say no, when you don't overextend to keep someone, when you maintain standards without hostility, women feel respect before attraction. Respect is the foundation. Without it, desire fades quickly. With it, desire deepens over time. The moment you stop trying to be chosen and start allowing connection to reveal itself, the dynamic flips. She doesn't feel pursued, she feels drawn. And when a woman feels drawn rather than chased, her investment grows naturally. That's when you notice it, the text, the effort, the curiosity, not because you demanded it, but because you became a man worth moving toward. Here's where everything locks into place and where most men either rise or fall without realizing it. Women don't chase men who are impressive. They chase men who are emotionally consistent. Consistency is rare, and rarity creates value. Not consistency in texting schedules or routines, but consistency of character. The kind that doesn't fracture under pressure. From female psychology, emotional consistency feels like a solid ground beneath shifting emotions. A woman's attraction deepens when she knows who you are, no matter the circumstance. When stress hits, you don't disappear. When things go well, you don't inflate. Your tone stays steady. Your reactions stay measured. That steadiness creates trust. And trust allows desire to stay alive instead of burning out. Many men think unpredictability creates excitement. It doesn't. Emotional unpredictability creates anxiety. Anxiety might feel intense, but intensity is not attraction. It's instability. Over time, women move away from what makes them feel unsure. They move toward what feels anchored. When you are emotionally anchored, she can relax into her femininity instead of guarding herself. This is where discipline shows up quietly. Discipline in how you speak when you're tired, discipline in how you handle disagreement, discipline in how you respond to disrespect. You don't explode, you don't withdraw to punish, you address things directly, calmly, without emotional theatrics. That kind of masculine composure is deeply attractive because it signals leadership without force. Women test emotional consistency unconsciously, not to manipulate you, but to understand you. A delayed response, a change in tone, a boundary push. When you remain grounded instead of reactive, something clicks in her mind. She realizes she can't pull you off center. That realization creates respect. Respect creates desire that doesn't fade when novelty wears off. Another crucial truth most men miss is this. Chasing energy comes from proving. Centered energy comes from knowing. When you know who you are and what you bring, you don't need to convince. You allow her to discover. Discovery feels exciting. Convincing feels exhausting. Women chase discovery because it feels like unfolding something meaningful rather than being sold an idea. Your body language communicates this before words ever do. Relaxed shoulders, slow movements, comfortable pauses in conversation. You're not filling space to avoid silence. Silence doesn't threaten you. Silence invites depth. When a woman feels comfortable being quiet with you, emotional intimacy forms naturally. That intimacy fuels long-term attraction far more than charm ever could. This is also why men who overcorrect and become emotionally unavailable fail. Consistency is not coldness, it's warmth without desperation. Presence without attachment. You're engaged but not clinging, interested but not consumed. That balance creates polarity. Polarity is what keeps attraction alive beyond the initial spark. A woman chasing a man doesn't always look dramatic. It looks like alignment. She adjusts her schedule, she shares more, she seeks your opinion, she mirrors your calm. These are signs of emotional investment. Investment grows where consistency lives. When she knows what to expect from your character, she feels free to invest without fear. Most men sabotage this by abandoning consistency. The moment they feel desire intensify, they get excited, rush intimacy, seek reassurance, or relax their standards. The shift is felt instantly. Attraction cools. What she was chasing disappears because the grounded man vanished. The lesson is simple, but not easy. Stay who you were when attraction was growing. When you maintain emotional consistency, women don't feel the need to control the connection. They trust it, and when trust replaces control, pursuit becomes natural. Not forced, not manipulated, natural. At this stage, you're no longer trying to make women chase you. You're simply becoming the kind of man whose presence feels like home and adventure. At the same time, that combination is rare, and people always chase what feels rare. Now everything comes together, and this is the part most men misunderstand until it's too late. Women don't chase a man because he learned techniques. They chase a man because his identity feels settled. When who you are is no longer up for negotiation, attraction stops fluctuating and starts anchoring itself to you. Here's the final psychological shift. The one thing that makes women chase a man long term is this: he is already living a life he would still respect even if she walked away. That truth is felt, not spoken. When your self-worth, routines, and direction don't collapse under the possibility of loss, you become emotionally irreplaceable. Not because you're perfect, but because you're whole. Most men are secretly trying to secure a woman to feel complete. Women sense that immediately. It creates pressure even when nothing is said. But when a man is complete on his own, a woman feels like she's joining a story already in motion, not becoming responsible for writing it. That difference changes everything. Joining feels exciting, carrying feels exhausting. At this level, you stop asking, how do I keep her? And start asking, does this connection align with my values? That internal question shifts your energy from seeking approval to exercising discernment. Discernment is deeply attractive. It signals maturity, standards, and self-respect. Women chase men who choose carefully because being chosen by a man like that feels meaningful. This is also where patience becomes your quiet superpower. You don't rush labels, you don't force certainty, you allow time to reveal truth. When a woman realizes she can't rush you, but she also won't lose you for being herself, she relaxes. In that relaxed state, her authentic desire emerges. Desire that is chosen freely lasts far longer than desire created through pressure. Another hidden truth is that women stay attracted to men who keep growing. Growth doesn't mean constant grinding or hustle obsession. It means evolution. You reflect, you improve, you refine your emotional intelligence. When a woman sees that your future self is becoming stronger, wiser, and more grounded, she wants to stay close to that trajectory. She wants to be part of the journey. This is why stagnation kills attraction faster than mistakes ever could. A man who owns his flaws and keeps moving forward is more attractive than a man who plays safe and stops expanding. Growth creates hope. Hope keeps attraction alive. Women chase men whose future feels expansive, not men who peak early and cling to comfort. By now, you should see the pattern clearly. Chasing disappears the moment you stop trying to manufacture desire and start embodying stability, direction, and depth. You don't need to withdraw affection. You don't need to act mysterious. You simply need to stay rooted in who you are, regardless of outcome. When you do this, women don't feel controlled. They feel drawn to your calm, drawn to your certainty, drawn to the way you don't need them, but genuinely enjoy them. That balance is what turns short-term attraction into long-term pursuit. And here's the final truth I want you to sit with. The goal was never to make women chase you forever. The real power is becoming a man who doesn't need chasing to feel worthy. Ironically, that's the man women choose to chase. Before you go, I want you to reflect on this and answer honestly in the comments. If attraction equals self-respect multiplied by emotional discipline, what number would you give yourself right now, and what needs to change to raise it? If this resonated with you, like the video, subscribe for more deep insights into female psychology and self-mastery, and share this with a friend who needs to hear it but won't task.